Hi, I'm Don, and this is The Hobbyist Geek. Welcome back, y'all. Today is a very exciting day for me. I'm going to be doing something absolutely brand new. I've been looking for a new project for a while, and thanks to an extremely aggressive social media campaign, the company Anavrin actually convinced me to buy their product. So I have their Ginzan Onsen, and I'm sure I mispronounced that horribly, but the Ginzan Onsen Book Nook. Do-it-yourself Book Nook. I've got a whole new set of tools. I've never done a Book Nook. I haven't done a wooden model since I was a very small child, and certainly nothing with any mechanical or electrical aspects to it like this one has. So this is a whole new project for me. Did a little bit of research, no spoilers, just some basics so I could try to make sure I had the right tools, and this is what I found. Eileen's tacky glue is apparently the best glue for woodworking models. Some sort of paraffin-based wax for any wood-on-wood motion, any gears, things like that. Some brushes to apply the wax, and some sandpaper, 600 grit, and some sanding sticks for getting rid of the burrs and stuff like that. So this is brand new to me. I can't wait to get started. So let's take a look at this packaging and see what comes inside. So here is the packaging for the Anavrin Ginzan Onsen Book Nook. Nothing too much. I mean, we got a product image, but this is a drawing of some sort. So this is not like a picture of the product. It's a drawing of it, and then a bunch of random images throughout. Sadly, the cellophane is a bit ripped here, and on this side, it's kind of hard to tell, but there's a dent in the package as well. I really hope that does not mean we have any broken pieces, but let's go ahead and get this off and see what we've got. By the way, I did a little research on Anavrin, of course, after I bought it. Found a bunch of negative reviews for some reason, mostly around shipping and delivery. And I don't understand that, because the day I ordered this, I got the tracking number and confirmation from the post office that they had received the package. There was a little bit of a delay afterwards, but that was the post office, not Anavrin, so I don't know. All right, let's slide this off. What do we have? All right. Okay, so we've got the paper roll. There's a movement aspect that's going to be effectively just spinning this around. Clearly, we're going to need some scissors and stuff. Good news is I have some scissors, so yay! All right, and look at that. We've got some electronics here. Looks like a motor. I'm not sure, man. That's pretty involved. Some good wires, rubber bands, power. Nice, nice. What else we got here? Okay, here are the instructions, and oh my god. This is 62 pages of instructions. This is a really well put together book. I mean, this is nice. This is high quality, not some thin paper garbage. I will have to spend some time going through this before I really get started on the build to make sure that I have a better idea of what I'm doing. Hopefully this is understandable to a beginner. We will find out. We have, a couple of packages of wooden pieces. Look at this. You can see how many blocks of pieces we have in here. And supposedly these will all just pop right out. So Fingers crossed there. They certainly look very well put together. You can see the first gear right there. So clearly we're gonna have to put some wax on that puppy. See what else we got. All right, some more electronics. These clearly some LEDs all over the place. Some bare wires. Okay. And more wood. More wooden pieces. Okay. I do like how all of these, I don't know if that's stickers or pre-apply. Wait a minute. I think this is plastic. I think this bit here is plastic, which is kind of cool. Maybe these are the windows with little decorations inside. But I do like how everything, I can't tell if it's paint or sticker or some other thing for applying all of the color and the patterns, but whatever it is, that is really well done. At least while it's still in the plastic. Cool. All right, well, let me give these instructions a read and make sure I'm not missing anything. Then we'll come back and see what we can do about this build. Alrighty, y'all. I have this sinking feeling I bit off more than I can chew here, but we'll give it a shot anyway. First and foremost, the instructions themselves are relatively easy to read. There are a couple of places that kind of threw me through a loop when I was looking through it a little further. But I'm thinking it'll make more sense as I'm building, particularly like right here where it seems to change orientation. And I don't know, it just kind of looks a little weird because of the way it's angled, but I think it'll make more sense when we get there. Also, one thing of note, every time I see one of these, I know I gotta glue. So it does indeed indicate where the glue is gonna go, which is great. Next, the pieces are all numbered on the sheets. Sometimes you can see nice and legible, nice and clear, which is great. Unfortunately, they're just numbers. Even though this is like sheet B, these are just numbers. The instructions only give the number, no other indication as to where it should go. And then there are cases like this where the number is very difficult to read. Like that right there, I can't tell if it's 81 or 91 or is it 38, 88? I just don't know because it's very, very hard to read. So we're gonna have to play that little game of guessing and hoping we get the right parts. The right sheets in some cases. Now, when it came out, ooh, I must have missed a spot. Not all of these were as smooth as one could hope, so they do require some sanding to make them nice and smooth. So you can always assume that I've sanded the edges here, and of course I will let you know where I apply the wax when we get to it. That said, let's get started. All right, for here we've got part 41. These are part 31. There's two of them. We got 6 part 43s, 2 part 39s, 2 part 28s. Now the instructions do say that when we're applying 31 to 41, we're gonna wanna glue it somewhere. So, what I'm thinking is apply a little bit of glue. Hopefully it'll go inside that hole. There we go. A little more than I was hoping for, but that's okay. We'll do a little on this side just to be safe. It's probably too much. It's my first go, guys. And then we take this so that it'll slide in like this, and then slide all the way down, like that. Okay, and take a little paper towel here and wipe off some of the excess glue. All right, and then we're gonna have to glue the other one in as well. All right, so it should look something like that when you're done. And from there, we're gonna take part 43, there's 3 of them here. I'm gonna slide those in all the way down, as far as they'll go. All right, should look a little something like that. Then we're gonna take 39 here. Same deal, but it won't go as far down. And finish it off with 28. All right, should look like that when you're done. And then you repeat those steps on the other side. There you have it. One spindle complete. All right, well, that being said, I'm gonna give a couple of these another little sand, and then we will move on to the next. Awesome. All right, next up, it's not very clear in the instructions, and you actually have to read ahead a bit, but it looks like everything we just did, we gotta do 2 more times. So, here are the parts. Just get into it. Exactly the same as before, same part numbers and everything. All right, there we go. 3 spindles ready to rock and roll. Let's see what's next. Okay, then we're gonna start building the main gear spindle here. This one's gonna be kind of interesting. We're gonna start with part 25 here, and you can see it's pretty much bilaterally symmetrical, but it does have right here in the center this little outlying bit. Make sure that is pointed to the left when you're looking at it like this. Now, we're gonna put parts 27 in, but there seem to be 2 different parts labeled 27. So if you take a look at these pieces, you can see the little posts will line up so it goes together like this, okay? So make sure you have the correct ones for the top and bottom. These are gonna be 27 as well. So same deal applies there. We're gonna start with putting the 27s in on this side. And we will do this. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. Now we're gonna need to put in our first gear. This is part 32. So when it comes to the gears, first of course make sure that you've sanded it all so there's no burrs. And then we're going to need to apply some wax to the gear portion. So in this case, just doing a little dump right in here. From what I understand, no such thing as too much wax. So that's what they've told me. That's what I'm going with. Although I gotta admit, that seems like it might be a little too much wax. Actually filling the gap. That's what this brush is for, I guess. Okay. This wax in here. Make sure it goes everywhere. Everywhere. You know, it's funny, I brought some gloves down and forgot to put them on. So now this is all over my fingers. Might be a good idea if you guys get some close. But for now, at least, we've got a geared up thing. Now I'm only going to push this part of the way through for the moment because we've also got to glue the gear in place. So we're going to throw a little bit of glue in right here. You know what? We'll do the other side too, just a little bit. Push this gear all the way down. Look at that. Look at that. I'll try to get a little excess glue out, but I'm not too worried about it, and I don't want to wipe the wax off. So alright, that should be good enough. Alright, now we're going to take the other 27s here and we're going to throw those in. There is a gap in there. I don't know why. There is a gap. Okay. Maybe that's why they want it glued, because there's a gap. Alright, there we go. All in. Next up, we got part 42 here. That'll go on first. And then we're going to follow that up with two 42Bs. And another 42. So when you're looking at it, you've actually got a little groove going through the middle there, which is actually kind of cool. Yeah. And what is this? 39, part 39. And then another 28. So you should have something that looks like this, and then you repeat all of that for this side. All right, now we've got this, but we're not quite done yet. All right, for the next bit, we're gonna have to take one of these rubber bands. Now these are the big thick ones. Don't confuse those with the little small ones, okay? But the big thick one, and I know it's gonna sound weird, but you gotta cut it. And then you're gonna have to cut it again. The question, of course, is how much do I have to cut it? And because this is very weird. Effectively, what you're looking at, according to the instructions, is 103 millimeters or 4.05 inches in length. Because here in America, that's how we measure stuff, in inches. And we don't do it in 0.05 elements, but you know, hey, what can I do? So we're gonna cut this. It says 103. Should be about here-ish. That I hope. And this, let's see, is the other side? The other side is still long enough, so let's make sure that it wraps around complete and full. Look at that. That's pretty much perfect. And that's exactly what we got to do. We're going to have to glue it in there. So let's apply a little glue all around. Just waiting on the glue to dry here. And then we've got to repeat the process over here. Perfect. And now we've got our rubber bands in there. And it's just a matter of waiting for this glue to dry. And while we're at it, we can move on to the next bit. All right, here we are building another spindle. We're gonna start with part 37 here. And we've got 31, and we're gonna be putting those in and gluing them just like we did with the others. All right, with that done, we're gonna take part 15, it's these smaller ones here. I'm gonna slide 7 of them on either side. So for a total of 14. All right, so we got something that looks like this. This is where things get a little interesting though. You see, these, which are part 34, and there's 6 of them, they're going to go over top like this. And the idea is that these will rotate freely. So, first thing you want to make sure of is that all of these are as smooth as you can make them. So get that sandpaper out and get to work. All right, now once you've got those things sanded down, you're going to want to get out your wax. Get yourself a nice coat of wax all around like that. Okay. Once you've got a good coat of wax in there, you want to take 6 of these. These are 34 again. I'm going to slide them all the way in, just like that. And give them a test. Make sure that they're rubbing real nice. In this case, pretty free motion for me. Might be a good idea to get a little wax on this lip right here. Just, you know, be on the safe side. It's not that I'm having any issues, but you can never have too much wax, according to what I've read online. All right. Yeah, that is really pleasant, actually, to move. All right, now we're gonna do the same thing on this side. Perfect. All right, with all that done, we're gonna take part 22 here. We're just gonna slide that on to cap it off. All right, and there we go. Spindle number 5 is complete. Nice. All right, one more spindle to go, at least for now, and then we can move on. So we have part 35 here, and these are part 30A. I don't know if these are 30A because nothing is actually marked 30A. As you can see, there's a 30 right there, and there are 2 more gears, and you can see the center hole is different. This hole matches what's in the instructions, so I'm guessing that means this is 30A. Fingers crossed anyway. And we're gonna put both of them all the way down, just like that. Look at that. Make sure you sand these things, of course, and for the gears, make sure you get your sanding stick out and get inside those gears best you can to make that a bit smoother. Okay, with both of those down, we're going to cap off each end with a 39, followed by a 28. Let's see here. Just like that. One more on the other side. Just like that. And probably be a good idea to wax that gear because we know it's going to be in use. So let's get some wax in there. And I can tell you from reading a little further ahead that these gears are going to go together like this. But of course, until they're mounted on something, I can't tell for sure, but it certainly feels nice and smooth, at least at this point. All right, let's move on. All right, time to start putting some stuff together. Got us a rubber band here, a couple of part 24, 5 part 41A, and this is part 36. All right, first up, we're going to take the 3 spindles that we built at the beginning, and effectively what we're going to be doing is we're going to take one end, we're going to put it through that hole. It's going to have to spin, so we're going to wax this, and then we're going to lock it in place by taking one of these 41As and throwing that in here like this. So we're probably going to want to wax the bottom of that as well. All right, look at that. And it is spinning very smooth. Very, very smooth. Very little friction. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, we're gonna do the same thing in this hole and in this hole with the remaining 2 of these. All right. Ah! Well, I guess you can tell it's on there securely since I'm dropping it and throwing it around and it's still all together. All of these are rotating very smooth, very nice. Love it. All right, next up, we're gonna take this puppy and it's really, really hard to tell, but it looks like the side that's got the wide end here is going to go up. So that is going to go in here. Same basic premise. Wax this and 41A to hold it in place. All right. There we go. Last but not least, well, I guess it's actually not last, but so certainly not least. We got our big boy here, and it is this, as you can see, there's a gap here. It's the side without the gap that goes into this piece, and make sure that the gears here line up with those gears. So should go something like this. Yeah, until this is really affixed on both ends, I can't tell if this is going to twist or not. But for now, let's get this one in. It certainly looks like it's going to turn, but again, got to fix the other end first to be safe. But for now, everything is in place. We can move on a little bit here. We're going to take parts 24, and they're going to go in 2 spots, here and here, just like that. Now we're gonna take this puppy, our little roller boy here. We're gonna put one end in. If you take a look, there's a little notch. I don't know if I can showcase this well enough, but there's a little notch on one side. That's gonna go to the outer edge. So we put this through with that notch facing the outer edge. Get one of the thin rubber bands. We're gonna hook it in that edge. Try to get it inside the piece. There we go. Then we're gonna weave it through those parts 24 that we just put in place. All right. And then it's gonna come and it's gonna hook around there. So, all right. So it should look like that when you're done. Now notice that these parts 24 here are kind of loose. Wondering if maybe I should glue them, but I mean, they're holding for now at least, so I guess we're okay. And we can move on. All right, next up, we're basically going to be filling in the other side here. So I flipped this over and we have part 33 here. Of course, let's wax all of the cylinders. They're going to make contact with wood. All right, and with all that waxed, just a matter of getting everything lined up and shoved in. All right, and this is turning very smoothly here, so this is great. Awesome. Now that we've got that in there, I'm gonna take these are part 29. I'm gonna do 2 of them. All right, I'm sure. There we go, we can get this to line up. All right, they're both gonna slide on right here, but before we do, let's get some wax because it's clearly gonna be rubbing up down here. So let's wax one side of this in its entirety. Slide this puppy on. Oh man, that is beautiful the way this is working. This is great. Okay. And now we're gonna take 41A, another 41A. And that's gonna go in here to lock it in place. Great. And I guess while we got it here, let's go ahead and wax these gears too. All right, that is awesome. All right, good. So with that done, I'm gonna take these are more 24s. They're gonna go in here, and another one, oop, right here. And you guessed it, another rubber band to hook into here, all the way through to there. Perfect. Oh, that is gorgeous. All right, we are ready for the next step. And now, y'all, because I am not particularly bright, I skipped a step and now I gotta go back and fix it. I hope I don't have to disassemble, but who knows. Short version is, we've got part 38 here. We got 2 of them. And they're gonna go in the center. There's those 3 holes here, here, and on the bottom as well, where these are supposed to go in to provide some extra support. I may have to do some disassembly to get everything in properly. We shall see if I'm lucky enough to avoid that. All right, then we're going to assemble the housing for the motor. We've got our motor here, and we're gonna want the cables, I guess down would be the best way to describe it, but we got part 26 here. I'm just gonna slide that just like this. And we've got 30B here, and that is gonna slide on top just like this. And yeah, we're gonna definitely want to get some wax in there to be safe. All right, just like that. On the flip side, we've got part 40, which will also slide in here. Just like this. Okay. According to the instructions, those cables do not go through that big hole. They just go out the back like this. And we've got part 12, and we're gonna put 2 of them right here. As before, however, we're gonna want to wax, so I'm gonna get some wax on there. Sorry about the shift in audio quality here. My microphone cut out during recording, so I'm having to do this during editing. But basically, after we get the gears on, we are going to take parts 23 and we're going to attach them to the motor assembly, just like I'm showing right here, and then you're going to do the same on the other side. Okay, now that we've got this assembly complete, we're basically going to take the entire motor assembly and we're going to push it up through the 4 holes that are in the spindle assembly that we've already put together. We're going to follow it up by locking it in place with those 4 locking pieces. In the instructions, it just says sheet R. Since I'm recording this like during the editing, I honestly cannot remember what the actual part number was. So apologize for that, but it is relatively straightforward. Just make sure the orientation is as shown here and that the gears on the motor line up with the gears on the bottom of the spindle assembly, so that everything integrates appropriately. All right, this next bit, you need to be careful with it. This is part 49, and it's a blink and you miss it part in the instructions, and it doesn't tell you what the piece number is. So bear that in mind, that's 49. But once you pull it out, there's 4 posts here, 4 holes around the corners, and you just slide it on like this, and again at the top, boom. Look at that. Really helps with stability. Of course, can't test that. Let's see here. Okay. Well, okay, this is still turning smoothly, but not as smoothly as it did before. Let me see. Yeah, okay. Well, this top piece here for me was a little bit warped, and that little warp is putting a little pressure on this, but it's still turning smoothly. Hopefully that won't impact performance, but it does make the whole setup here way more stable. Way more stable. All right, I am ready. Let's see what's next. All right, looks like we're about to build another gear assembly here. We're gonna kick off with 13 and 19. Basically, we're just gonna slide it in like that, all the way. And we have part 20 here. That's gonna go on the cross. Just like so. So you've got something that looks like this. Now, we're gonna pop this in, okay, like this. So, gonna be lots of motion around here, so we definitely need to make sure we get some wax in there. There we go, it's still, sounds like it's scraping, but there's wax all over it. At this point. Yeah, there we go. As it spreads, it gets so much smoother. So much better. All right. And then this is gonna go on there. This is part 82. This is part 83, by the way. I'm not sure if I mentioned that. This is gonna go on here, which means the entire side of this is gonna be rubbing up against all of this wood. So let's just get some generous waxing in here. Look at that. That is awesome. That is awesome. All right. With that in place, we've got two part 5s. I'm gonna line up here. This will go straight on here, just like that. And we've got a part 9, which is gonna go right in here. All right, look at that. And to finish it off, we're gonna make sure we get some wax in all of those gear spokes. And there we go, look at that. Very nice, very smooth. Really like that. Cool. All right, let's see what's next. All right, now we're gonna try throwing everything together. This piece here, obviously a base plate. This is effectively the entirety of sheet S. It does say 109A on it. However, that is not listed in the instructions anywhere. So there's that. It is not painted or whatever this is on both sides, so make sure the blue is upright. Okay, we've got these little parts right here. These are part 46. And there's 5 of them. We're gonna throw those in. Right here, all the way around like that. All right, so we've got something that looks like this. Now, we're gonna take this assembly, and just like this, we're gonna pop it on to those 5 supports. Hopefully it goes in fairly smooth. Looks like we're gonna have to raise it up a little bit. All right. Make sure this continues to turn. Looking good. Looking good. And now we're gonna bring this back out. These 4 supports are gonna go into these 4 holes. Make sure that the cabling is coming out the left when you're looking at it from this angle, and that this piece is facing towards the front. Also make sure that these gears line up with this gear. Okay? All right. All right, and with that in place, we have these number 1s. That's what this piece is. And these are gonna slide in to support this. Make sure they are all, like if you're looking at it this way, they're all coming towards the back side. Just like that. Should lock it in place. There we go. All right, and it should be locked in place quite nicely. Ain't going nowhere. Look at this. All right, what's next? All right, y'all. For this next bit, get your wax ready. You're gonna need a lot of it. But we're gonna get started here by assembling the water pipe mechanical aspects. First things first, we got part 81, and this is part 10. Now in the instructions, this actually says part 81 as well. It is not, so just that was confusing, but I finally figured it out. Definitely 10. So we will go from there. Now, this is going to have a lot of motion. It's basically going to go here, and it's going to be able to move around and stuff. So make sure you get all that waxed over here. And you might as well get the inside while you're at it, because that's going to need some wax as well. And if you want, go ahead and wax this side too, because that's going to need it just as much. Okay, and then we're going to set it down on top just like this for now. We're going to take this piece, which is part 15. We're going to take one of these part 16s. I'm going to fit this in just like that. And we're going to give it a good wax all around the cylinder, as well as this internal area here. Nice, healthy coat of wax. All right, the cylinder is going to go inside that. And these two square holes here, that's where these pegs are going to go. So, when all is said and done, you should have this moving freely and smoothly in between. Okay, that's pretty good. Now, we get to do it twice more. All right, there we go. Now we've got 3 of them ready to rock and roll. Now comes the next fun part. All right, I'm going to take part 7 here, and a couple areas that could use a little bit of sandpaper. There we go. I'm going to make it so that the short post here is facing left in this case. Okay, and we're going to take part 21. We've got 2 of them here. They're going to go into here, just like this. All right, look at that. Out with the wax. Okay, lots of motion here, so you're going to want to make sure you get both sides of part 21. You know what? Make it all 4 sides. What the heck? Can't hurt. And make sure you get down here as well. it's going to be a lot of motion in there. Okay, with all that waxed, take one of these assemblies through these two slots here is where those post 21 or 21s go, just like this. Okay, and you can see it's going to have some motion here. Now you want to wax the top of this. Then we're going to take the second one, put it on, then the third one. Alright, now with all three of those on, we're going to take the other number 7, we're going to plug it into those holes. I'm going to go ahead and wax this area too, just to be safe. Alright, now that we've got all of that in place, you can see there are 2 holes there. That is where those pins are going to go. This is part 3. And probably a good idea to wax all of this as well. There we go. And now we're going to repeat that with another part 3 right there. All right, there we go. All of these pieces are moving quite nice in their designated areas. All right, now we're gonna bring this puppy out. These 3 big slots right here, that's where these 3 pipes are gonna go. And then this big post is gonna go in there, and the small one right there. These will not have motion. Right here will, and it should be right about in those sticks. So let's get those waxed up as well. Looks like I had it backwards, guys. Make sure the ends that have these attachments here is actually facing the mechanical portions in the motor. Let's get it in this way. There we go. All right, look at that. All right, and with all of that in place, right here on the top, we're gonna take number 1, and we're just gonna shove it in there to lock it in place. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. So, with this assembly in place, we are ready to, well, repeat that with all of these for the other side. So that's what I'm going to do. And there you go. 6 water pipes ready to move. Looking spectacular. And now we can move on. Alright, let's see if we can't finish off these water pumps. First, you're going to need 6 of these. These are part 2, please note. One of these is smooth, the other has this lip. Okay? And then you'll need 6 of these part 8s and 2 part 4s. And what we're going to do here, bring this back out. I'm going to start by taking part 8. I'm going to slide it in just like that. Okay. Notice that the little hole on the water pump can line up with the bottom hole on part 8. So let's get some wax in there, as there's going to be a little motion. We'll line that thing up. Then we use part 2 here to hold it in place. The one with the lip goes up here. The one that is smooth is kind of like the axle, so it's going to go right between the hole in the water pump assembly. So let's make sure the smooth one is all waxed up too. You know what? Just apply a little wax on the inside, just to be safe. Line this thing up, plug her in. So, it should look like that when you're done. And then repeat those steps for the next ones. There you go, all 3 in. Got some motion going on here. That's great. Now that we've got all that in, we'll take one of the part 4s. You can see there's 6 holes, 6 pins. Just line it up, push it in place. Alright, look at that. Now we've got our water pipe assembly ready to rock and roll. And you may have guessed, but we get to repeat everything we just did on this side. So let me do that. There we go. Look at this. That is awesome. And you can see on the bottom how the mechanism is going to work. And oh shoot, look at this. Okay. Looks like this came out. That's not good. Well, let me get that fixed. There's nothing in the instructions about gluing this in, but I'm wondering if maybe it would be in the best interest to do that. We'll see. But in the meantime, yeah, you can see how that's kind of popping out a little bit. I may end up gluing those little fixtures here so it doesn't keep popping out. That's unfortunate, because the mechanism does work good. It's just not holding well down there. But all right, cool. Well, I think we can move on. Let's see what's next. All right, y'all. I did have to apply a little bit of glue to a few places, like right up in here, and a couple of these little bits here to try and hold everything together. Just if you're doing it, be very careful not to glue things that are supposed to move, because that'll be a problem. All right, time to build the crankshaft. So we've got part 87 here, and we're going to take part 50, put it right here, just like this. Let's get some wax all around it and on this flat edge there. Look at that. Okay. Then we're going to take part 47. I'm going to put that on top. Make sure that it spins nice and neat. Okay, now we need part 14 here, and looks like I missed a couple of things on the sanding, so let's get that sanded up. All right, looks great. And of course this is going to rotate against that wood there, so lots of wax all on one side. Get that thing in there, just like this. And we've got a part 9 that is going to go in here to hold it in place. Like that. It should move nice and smooth. And oh my lordy, does it. That's great. Let's go ahead and get some wax into all those gears. All right, look at how beautiful that is. All right, now we're gonna effectively repeat that process on this side. That's another 50. This is part 18. That's gonna go on there once we wax it. And then it's gonna be held in place with another number 9. All right, looks like this is the wrong number 9. There are 2 different types of number 9s, and it would appear we're gonna want this version of number 9, the much larger version for this end. So let's go ahead and get that waxed up. Don't know why they're the same number, but they are both number 9. Okay, it's not confusing at all, right? There we go. There we go. Look at that. Absolutely spectacular. All right, now we got to get this crankshaft onto the main base here. So let's flip it like this and see how this is going to go. Okay, the gear here, this gear, got to line up with that small gear right there. We've got posts that should line up nice and neat, just like this. All right, so it should look like this. And on the flip side, you've got 4 more holes, and we're going to be using 4 more of these number 1s to hold them in place. There you go. Look at that. That is gorgeous. Of course, it's not moving anywhere because the motor's not running, but it should. All right. Let's see what's next. All right, y'all, it is time to finish off this crankshaft, and this is gonna be fun. All right, we have part 149 here. We're gonna need 6 of these, and they come in 2 pieces, okay? Obviously, it's gonna go together just like this, just like a puzzle. But when you do it, you gotta make sure that this opening, this hole there, wraps around one of these 3 pieces on the crankshaft. So what we're going to do is make sure that we wax all of those. Excellent. While we're at it, let's wax this side of each of these. Because we're going to need them. And if you want, you can take it a step further and wax the inside of the hole here as well. That will come in handy as well. So what we're going to do is go around, connect it up. All right. And with everything together, we're going to use a part 47 just to kind of show you how it's going to go. 47 is this. We're going to slide it down all the way, which should hold it in place. Alright, should look like this, and I gotta tell you guys, that is an exercise in frustration. Holy crap. With that in place, however, we're basically gonna line it up just like this. Okay, and we're gonna be using one of these. This is part 11. Again, smooth end goes into the hole here. The lipped end goes onto the crankshaft gear here. So, get some wax. All right, and it should look like this when you're done. Now we've got to repeat it 5 more times. So 3 going over here, 3 going over here. This is going to be interesting. And that is what the final result should look like. And holy crap, was that freaking hard. I would actually recommend getting these spokes here onto the crankshaft before you put this assembly in, because just doing it here with such little room is an absolute nightmare. But it's in now, thank God, and we're ready to move on. I should also note I actually did crack one of these. There seemed to be a couple spares, so I hope I won't be needing this later. But wow, that was a pain in the butt. But it's done, so woohoo! Alrighty, y'all. Unless I missed my guess, we are now done with the mechanical aspects of this piece. So I'm going to end the video here, but take a look at everything we've accomplished. We've got this beautiful setup here. This is where the paper backing is going to go, and it's just going to whip through. I can't wait to see what that looks like. We've got our water pipes here, which are going to be moving as well. All of this wonderful gear work. On the bottom, you can see we've got our wonderful crankshaft here to move those water pipes. And of course, some more gears to ensure everything moves the way it's supposed to. Sadly, we cannot test it until we finish the electrical, and we have 2 pieces of this left, really. We've got the electrical part and the decorative part. So in the next video, hopefully we'll be taking care of the electrical and maybe a piece of the decorative. And then I think we'll do a 3rd video with the finishing touches and final decorative pieces. But for now, this is what we've got. What do you guys think? Is this looking good? Am I doing well for my very first mechanical wooden piece in Book Nook? I certainly hope so. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Have a great day.